Hey guys, what's up? It's me, E, with another Clash Royale video, and today we're going to be taking a second look at this meta breaker deck that I've got. If the Elite Barbs have been getting you down, this is the deck for you. Now, you may not have the log, you may not have the miner, and you might find ways to sub those out, but the bowler is the linchpin of this deck. Combined with the furnace and the special splash damage that you get from poison, guys, I've been killing it in the meta. So that would be both challenges as well as in the ladder. This deck has just opponents are having a really hard time stopping it. Now, there are a couple decks that'll give you trouble, and I'll try and talk about those. But today I'm going to show you 3 matches against typical decks in the meta and why this deck is so good. So, stepping right into our first one against Mario Aaron from Absinthe. You can see by looking up at the top there that he's playing a Royal Giant deck with the Elite Barbs, Rage Spell, and then some cheap cycle stuff. So I like to lead with the miner. It's a good 3 elixir push, especially if you don't know what they're going with. Remember, this deck is all about chip damage, so every little couple hits that we get count. So right here, perfect. He drops the Elite Barbs. We drop our bowler and our ice golem, and notice how it just completely shuts it down. And our bowler still lives. So a level 4 bowler, when going up against 2 Elite Barbs, will still live. He's going to drop his Royal Giant to try and take out my Furnace and Tower. I've got my Elite Barbs queued up, and we've got our log ready just in case he's going to drop a Skeleton Army or a Distraction Troop, which he does, but it's a little late. We're going to go ahead and drop a poison, and so kind of a misplay by him throwing down the archers. That's not really a great defense. He probably would have been better served taking 1 or 2 hits and then dropping a Skeleton Army. But with that, we're going to go ahead and just let this reset, build our elixir back up, and that's what he's doing. And we've got the Furnace. So Furnace is a great card to play. I'm going to drop it on a little to the left so that it will counter those 3 Fire Spirits that he dropped. So right there, that's a good elixir trade. And here he goes again, the same tactic. Guys, I cannot tell you the number of times that I see players try and do the same thing over and over. You have to be able to adapt. He just wasted easily 2 elixir on a rage spell that got him absolutely nowhere. Why? Because the bowler shut him down, the furnace was going, and I don't really know why he did it. Here he tried to drop a Skeleton Army to stop my Barbs again. That was a good play for him. He didn't know I had the log, but we were ready for it. And with that, our Barbs are going to get in there and take it out. Now look how much damage our lone unsupported bowlers have done to that left-hand tower. It's already down to 931, along with just some Fire Spirits from the Furnace, and we haven't focused on it at all. He's still going to push the right lane. We're going to drop archers just to help out a little bit. Our Fire Spirits are going to take care of the Skeleton Army on the left. Elite Barbs are going to go down on the right, which is kind of sad for us. We really wanted to get another push with our Elite Barbs over on the left. But with that tower at 634, a Furnace queued up, and only 30 seconds left, I don't think that's going to be a problem. We're going to get a Poison spell down. Guys, if you can get 2 towers or a tower and troops, the Poison spell is almost always a good play. Again, especially if you can get it in on the tower that you need, because this is a chip deck. You want to get in that chip damage. So with that, we're going to clear up that second tower. And again, the bowler combined with that distraction building of the Furnace and our Ice Golem, and 1277 on our right tower, 2057, a very clean win against Mario Aaron. Okay, guys, so going right into the second match against Dark PBL 77 from PBL XX Clan, you can see we've got an okay starting hand. Now, we've got the Elite Barbs, we've got archers, we've got a miner. I'm going to drop archers because he dropped his archers on the left. Otherwise, I would have led off with a miner. In this meta, you want to be patient. He drops a Hog Rider. Perfect Hog Rider anti are those Elite Barbs. And when you can, drop down an Ice Golem in front so that it can tank any splash damage and or blow up if he drops Skeleton Army. Now, that was a perfect prediction log on our part. And because of that, we are going to get off some damage on the tower. Now, his Electro Wizard, I call him Mini Sparky Man, is actually going to get in some... He's pretty powerful, so he does a pretty good job of stopping the push. He's saving some damage. So we're going to drop 2 archers while he's distracted and clean that up. Now, at this point, we're gonna slow play. We've got, about 1,000 damage on his right-hand tower. We're getting chip damage with the archers, which we love. We know he's got the Hog Rider, so we've got to play for that. He probably has Elite Barbarians. We don't know that at this point, but he probably does. So here comes the Ice Golem, which is almost always followed by Elite Barbs. We're ready for it. We're going to drop down our Bowler. We're going to drop down our Ice Golem. And look how the Bowler just knocks those back. Now, the minions on his part is not something I was prepared for, and they actually changed my whole counter. And I really should have done something here, but I didn't. Thank goodness my Furnace came over, because they got my tower all the way down to 157. I could not believe how much damage those guys did. So that was a really great push by him. You can see I hit him with the WoW. Again, because this deck is about chip damage, it's really kind of painful if you end up in a push situation. So I'm just going to sacrifice the tower. I know I've lost it. I want to get in a good push and make sure I take his. So I throw down the prediction log, but obviously it missed. That was a little sad for us. We are going to poison because it's going to clear out some of the skeleton army. Hope our tower can take out some minions. Throw down the Ice Golem just to make sure that we can prevent whatever chip damage we can to it. You can see that Hog Rider got our King Tower down to 2688, so that's a little bit of concern for us. But look at this. One Bowler stops the Hog Rider, stops 2 Elite Barbs, and his minions are just a little too late this time to cause as much havoc as they did earlier. We did use a log, which means we're not going to have that as a special counter. But remember, this is a chip deck. The Elite Barbs are not your strongest card in this deck. Let me repeat that. The Elite Barbarians are not the strongest card in your deck. They're expensive, and they're really good at defense for giants, royal giants, golems. But you can see the Bowler. The Bowler is so strong. You pair up the Bowler with some cheap archers to the side, and they'll take out almost any ground push. Now, key there, ground push. This deck does struggle a little bit against air decks. The Furnace is a godsend when a minion horde comes your way and your fire spirits manage to take out the minion horde. And the archers, but the archers do die to a fireball, so I can't tell you the number of times I've had a lava loon deck coming at me and the fireball will kill my archers. So in those cases, you have to push the other lane and push it hard. Sometimes you can get away with pushing the same lane, but you have to push it hard. And that's when the Elite Barbs do save you. So again, this guy's trying the same thing. Sending in his Elite Barbs. We're going to keep dropping our Bowler. Now, I know that the Bowler plus the Ice Golem is a -1 elixir trade for us, but look, the Bowler still rolls right over top of his troops. We're going to punish him a little bit and go on the left. We were expecting the skeleton army, so we threw that down. Again, we were a little bit early on that, but the poison did clean him up. But again, this is all chip damage. Look, he hasn't touched our towers in the last minute and a half of this game. He's trying. He's trying real hard. Look at that right-hand push. Look at that right-hand push. He's got the Electro Wizard. He's got the Elite Barbs. He's got an Ice Golem hitting our Furnace. And our Bowler, a log, it just cleans it up. So that's going to enable us to throw our miner continuously up and on that left-hand tower along with poisons. So we're constantly getting in that chip damage. I'll tell you now, this deck, this particular match goes a really long time. But we dropped the Elite Barbs there to try and take out the Hog Rider. He had his minions. That was actually a really good play by him and probably a somewhat poor play on our part. But with a well-placed Furnace, we're still able to defend. The Fire Spirits from the Furnace are going to just crush his Elite Barbs, throw down a Bowler, and again, our tower just says, what? So notice how I put my miner now on the front of the tower. Sometimes I put it on the left, sometimes I put them on the front, sometimes I put them on top. The only place you don't really want to go with a miner on your opponent's tower is to the right of the left-hand tower or the left of the right-hand tower. So in that middle part, when the two side towers are open. But look at our Bowler. We just ignored him, right? Because we're worried about that left-hand lane push. We're worried about taking out that one little tower. Well, our Bowler, left unchecked, got his King Tower down to 1048. Now, we're still doing our minor poison. Minor poison, minor poison. We're effectively shutting down every push he has. We're in a little bit of trouble here, because he is going to get his Hog Rider down there, and he's got a skeleton army. And I'm going, what do? I use my log up top. Oh, and we just pushed the lane with Elite Barbs that he never even saw coming. He hits us with a good game. That was a great game by him. But let's not waste any time at all. Let's jump into one more match against Irfan. You guys have probably seen a fair amount of this deck as well. At least I know I have. So I'm going to throw down. I had a really bad starting hand. I probably should have led with my miner. Instead, we start off with the Ice Golem. We do waste some elixir. This is the only deck I would say it's okay-ish to waste elixir, especially in the beginning, because if you've got Elite Barbs in hand and they throw down a Lava Hound and you've led with your Furnace, or several expensive cards, and you get behind a little bit and you aren't able to rush him, if you can't rush your opponent, you're going to be hurting. So it's okay to waste a little elixir. Now, this was really good by him. I dropped my bowler to protect against the barbs on the left, and then he dropped Elite Barbs on the right. So we are going to drop down our Ice Golem, and then with just enough time, we're going to get our Elite Barbs down. He's going to waste a zap on it, which is great for us. So now we've got a little mini push over on the right. And I say mini push. A single Elite Barb is kind of a mini push. Look, he had less than half health, and he still got to the tower and got a swing off, bringing it down to 2100. Our bowler, who took out the barbs, also just crushed his musketeer. So the bowler, guys, he's so great because you can get him down, you can get his defensive capabilities in place, and then you can kind of forget about him because he's not key to your push, right? You don't have to send in troops along with your bowler to support a push. Now, that's kind of counterintuitive, and that's not how normal decks work. But that is the strength of this deck, is just getting in the chip damage. You can see here I'm going to catch an Ice Wizard, and I'm going to catch the tower with the poison, so I drop it. Now, he drops a Giant. The first time I've seen it. I don't have my Elite Barbs. They're my best counter to it. But we do have Archers, so we're going to drop them. And then I don't know why I waited, maybe because I wanted that extra 1 elixir, but then we're going to drop down our Elite Barbs. We are going to drop an Ice Golem in front in case he drops those right there, his barbs. We're going to go ahead and log. He's going to Fireball, but because our Archers are there to back him up, look what happens. All of it just goes down. All of it goes down, and our Archers do die, but it means that now we have a Musketeer push and full elixir coming at, well, we have full elixir coming at us versus, some barbs, tanking for a Musketeer, etc. Now we're going to use our miner to defend because the Musketeer's getting chip shots on our tower, and that's really what's hurting us at this point. It's not a massive push. It's not these guys who we just look at that. He should know by now. He really should know by now. And then he drops his Giant. Now the bowler doesn't push the Giant back, but he does do damage. Now that's a pretty good fireball by him, but look at how tanky the bowler is. So this is going to let us throw down our Elite Barbs. We're going to throw Archers in front of it. He's got his barbs, a super predictive log right in his face, and his Ice Wizard is doing all he can to prevent death, but with just 2 swings and a poison, we're going to get the cry face. Maybe it's the angry face, but it feels like a cry face. It's what he deserves. So anyway, guys, we got another 12 wins with this deck. We're going to go ahead and take a look, see what we get. Not a lot of great cards on this haul. We got a Zap, the Mortar, really, who needs it, and the Barb Hut. Guys, I really, really want you to try this deck out. And hey, a Tornado. I want you to practice playing patiently, get in some good counterattacks. Feel free to try it out in challenge mode, try it out in the ladder, and let me know how it works for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.